Hi, welcome to the training today. Today I'll be showing you how to use the drug testing software. This is the random employee selection software. And if you're running the older version, you can contact us to upgrade yours to the latest version. This is the 2.0 version, and it has a lot of changes on it. I'll close out of this, and I'll log into the application. If you're brand new to this, I'll go over some of the commands so you'll get a good understanding of how to use the software here. First thing you want to do is you want to log into the application here, and I'll just choose John to log in. And all my default passwords are 1234. So log in. Once you log into the application, you'll be prompted into the dashboard. This is the main dashboard right here, and it shows you a few things here. It shows you who the application is registered to. You also have the pending results screen here, and on the right here you have your main menu with all your commands on the right side here. You can log out by clicking on the log out button here, and we'll log right back into it. Okay, and you can refresh the screen using the refresh button here. Okay, so these commands on the right here, for example, the first one here is the add new employee. You can add new employees here. You can view employees, and you get all the employees here, and these are the dates that has been generated. So for example, my profile here, I have 3 generated here, and all mine's done. So you can expand these and see the results here, and we'll just scroll down a little bit here. Okay, you can use the button down here towards the bottom here to navigate to the next employee. If they don't have a photo, they'll show you the silhouette here, and we'll close that out. Okay, now you can also view by status. For example, I want to see all the employees with that are, let's say, part-time only. Type that in, and you'll see that we only have one person, which is Yuna here, and she's part-time. Okay. Next command here is the enter employee results. So after you had generated your list for your employees to be drug tested, you can go back and, let's say I'll go into my profile here, my employee number 101, and I can make changes. Actually, I can add the results here. So for example, I'm going to generate some right here. I'm going to click on the generator here. Now the this particular software here is gonna pull from the full-time and part-time only. If you're running a custom version where it's only pulling the full-time employees, then you might want to change all your employees to full-time instead of using the part-time also. Okay, so here I'll choose the number of employees that I want to be drug tested. So I'll say 2. So since I only have 2 employees, say for example, if you have 100 employees, you could choose 2, or you can choose 10 or 50 or 25 for drug tests. That would be up to you, and it will randomly pull the amount of employees that you specify here. So since I only have 2 employees for my demo here, if I put in 2 and I generate it, it's going to only pull 2. Okay, and here you go, it'll show you this. Now you see that it shows 4 here because I had generated for this date, which is 9/28/2018. I had generated the generator already. Okay, that's why it shows you 4 there, by the way. If I refresh my list here, you see that I had 2 that I have pulled for drug testing. Okay, Yuna and myself. So once you generate it, you can go here and we can go enter employee results, and I'll put in the employee number. I'll do myself first, which is 101, my employee number, and you'll see that down here it'll say 9/28/2018 here, generated by Sang, and it's not done yet. So this is the brand new one here. If I click here, you see that I can input in my results here. So let's say I put the date today, and I took the drug test, and I passed, and I say, good to go, or so forth. Okay. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to navigate from this field yet. Okay. These fields down here, you don't want to navigate from here. Once you navigate from the results fields down here, it's going to lock you out. You won't be able to make changes. The only way that you can make changes is if you got to go into the correction section. So I'm done here. I'll put the check box here that says done. Close out of here. Refresh my list here. And you see that I'm no longer on the pending list here. Okay, so we'll do it for Yuna also. Her employee number is 102. And we'll go here and we'll go say enter employee results. Enter the employee number. 102 is her employee number. Okay, and then we'll go to the one that's not done yet. And we'll put in the date. Let's say she did it today. Let's say she passed it. And say okay. Close out of that. Refresh. And you see that. Refresh that. She's still there. Go back to employee results. 102. Put a checkbox here. Refresh. Okay, now she's gone. Okay, so that's how you update employee results. The next one is print generated reports listed by date. So if I input the generated date, which is, let's say I want to know who was generated today. Let's change that to the 9 here. And it's going to show you all the employees that I generated today. So I generated twice, which you don't want to do. You only want to generate it once per day. But it's up to your company. If they want you to generate twice, that's fine. Also, I'll show you all the employees that are generated based on the date. Okay. Next report is the employee record. So if I want to show, let's say I'll do it for myself. My employee number is 101. And this is the employee record, 101, which is me. Shows you my picture and show you all my info status, my generated results, and my documents if I have any documents. Okay, you can print this using the Control and P key on your keyboard. Choose your printer and go ahead and print that. Okay, I'll cancel that from here. Also remember, if you have documents that you can attach to your employee records, you can go to enter employee results here. Okay, if you scroll down a little bit here, these info here are the generated results. Okay, and then you put your test results here. And then it also has a box down here where you can actually add, let's say maybe the certification of the drug test. Drug test documents. You put description here. It'll lock in the date and time that you add it, and you can click on attach file and make sure you have that file or document scanned and saved on your system or your network before you attach it, and then you can also view it also. Okay, so I'll close that out here. Okay, we'll go to the next part here, which is the reports. The reports has a lot of reports here. For example, you could print all employee records. You can print the employee record with photo, list of the employees, employee by status, department report if you only want it for a particular department. And then it has the generated employee listing, date range. If you want to see all the people who passed it, let's say the drug test, in January, then you will put the dates for January and you put pass. Or you want to know everybody who failed drug tests in the last 6 months or so, then you will put those date range, and then you will specify that you want to prove all the fails. Okay. Next here is the generate employee listing results or date range all. So this you can click here, and it will ask you for 2 dates, the beginning date and the end date, and then you can get that report here as well. Okay. And then here you can print today's generated list. If you forgot to print that when you generate the employees for drug testing, you can print that here. You can generate lists by date, so you can pick any date you like. Let's say you want to know what how many people or who were picked for last week or the week before or on a particular date. You put that date here and then it'll show you that. You have your audit reports down here. You can do it by dates. If you want to know all the changes that your users made to the application, to data inside the application, let's say in March or February, you put those dates, the begin date and end date, and it'll give you that. If you click on this command here, this shows you pretty much all the log. So for example here, if I go to the latest log, you see that here Jane on the 28th, Jane made all these changes to employee number 4 here, department, change from the department administration to finance, and change the director name from Leslie to Audrey. Okay, so your audit log is what tracks changes to your data inside the software made by your users. Okay, I'll exit out of here, and the generator here is where you can use this to generate employees, randomly pull employees to for drug testing. So if you want to, let's say you have 100 employees here, you can input 25 people for drug testing if you like, or 10, depending on how your company wants to do this. And this software will pull the full-time and part-time employees only. So anything that's listed as maybe leave of absence or exempt or terminated won't get pulled. Okay, and it'll tell you here, right here, the employees available. Okay, so I'll close out of that. These commands down here, the change employee status, term date, and corrections and admin control, you're going to need username and password. So that's set by your system administrator. So for example, if I click on change employee status and term date, I'll put in my default password, which is 1234. And it's going to ask you for an employee ID number. We'll put in 101. And this is me right here. So this one is to change the status and term date. So if you are allowed to, you can change the status here. And you can change the term date here. Okay. Or if you go to corrections here, 1234 for my default password. Okay. Then you would be able to make changes to the employee data, the employee generated records, employee results record, employee documents record. Okay, and then you have this command down here is called data purge by terminated date. Okay, so for all employees, for example, if you want to get rid of all the old employee information for, let's say, all the employees who's been terminated, you can click on this right here and it'll ask you for a date here. Okay, so anything, let's say I want to delete or purge all of the employees who've been terminated or is no longer with the company within the last 6 months or maybe last year. I can put in today's date, and anything that's older than or equal to today's date is gonna pull that list up, and then you can click on the little button here on the side, highlight everything else and drag it down and hit the delete key on your keyboard, and you can delete all that information out of the system. Okay, be careful using this command because you won't be able to retrieve those data. Okay, anything that's not set as terminated with their employee status, they won't be affected. They won't be pulled up. Only individuals that has the term date apply there. Okay, so I'll click done here. So that's the correction section. I'll go into the admin section here, and I'll log into the admin here. My default password is 1234. Okay, this is the admin section here. You have that corrections button here also, where you can make corrections. You could change the listing on the department listing. So if you have your own department listing, you can copy that off of a sales sheet, come and highlight this and delete this out, and then paste it in there if you like. Okay. This is the status listing. So these are the defaults that we have. We have full-time, part-time, terminated, LOA, exempt. You can add your own to it if you like, starting here. Status change. This is to add another status. If you want to allow some, maybe one of your staff member to make changes to the status and the term date, you can add another user here. Corrections, corrections is the same thing. You can add another correction user here. Change user login. So these are all the users for the application that they that they need to have. So this is important because you want to create all users with individual passwords so that when they make changes to the application, you can track those changes and know who's making changes to what information inside the application. Okay, so we'll close out of that. Admin section is the admin login here. You can create another admin user. What we recommend is that you have 2 admin users inside the application. Just in case you forget your password, you can still log into the admin side and then make changes and reset your password. Server migration. This button here, if you are running the software on a server or a network and you decide to move the applications to another server, you can open this, and there's only 2 things that you really need to concern yourself with. This is the path here. So if you do decide to move this, let's say from server 1 to server 2, you can change the path accordingly to what you move to, and everything else should stay the same. For example, the file name should stay the same, but just the path here, it could be to server 2. Okay, and here, auto log. This shows you the log of all the changes, and you can add your company logo to the report. So for example, I'm going to just generate this report over here. Okay, you see that we have our default logo here on the reports, and all the reports. You can add your own logo to those reports by clicking here. And what you do is you click on this box here, delete that box with the key, and your logo should be about 138 by 138 pixels. So if you use Microsoft Paint or you use a photo editor, you can resize your logo, and then delete this one. Click on this box here, delete that out, and then paste that in. You can use the Control V button to paste your logo in here and hit done, and all your logos will appear on all these forms. So if your company decides to change their logo, you can reapply that here if you like. Okay, you do have the we kept the import employee data command here. So if you have your if you're using this migrating all your employee data over to the new version here, you can use this to import all your employee information, which is in a Excel file, into the application here, and then you can verify the data table also. Okay, just make sure, if you're not sure how to set up the Excel file, just make sure you click on this button that says View Sample Excel Format here. So it shows you all the fields you need and how to label your fields correctly. Okay, so everything, just make sure if you're importing, make sure everything's labeled correctly. For example, the employee number, make sure there's an underscore between the employee underscore number here, or employee underscore first name underscore first underscore name here. Okay, I'll close out of that. You do have this new command here. This is open all table. So if you like, you can open up all the tables in the system here, and all these here you can modify the data or make changes as you need to, or copy them and paste them onto an Excel sheet if you like. Okay, and if you haven't registered the application, you can use this register software now here. And if you don't have this password to register the software, you can contact us and you can register your software here. Okay, and that will be it. I'll close out of this. We kept the how to help file here. This is the old version of it. We decided to keep this on because it does have some useful info in here, such as the database maintenance and the application security and some of the basic or old functions and features here that shows you how to change things here. So we decided to keep that. If you do want to see the latest version, you can go to our YouTube channel or our website. Other than that, we decided to keep this because it does have some useful information here. So you can go through this. This is the old how-to help file. Okay, and that's the application here. If you have any questions, just send us an email or give us a call, and we'll be happy to help you out. Other than that, have a great day. Bye-bye.